Hi YouTube and welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be me, I guess, kind of carrying you along the journey of my son and the possibility of him getting a G-tube. Now, if you haven't seen any of my previous videos, both of my kids do have Angelman syndrome, and my son, who is 8, seems to have the most of the issues, I guess you could say, with the syndrome that comes along with the syndrome. And we have been dealing with the issue of him throwing up and having just a, I guess you could say, gastro reflex, which is one of the symptoms or characteristics that is said to be associated with Angelman syndrome. And we just kind of been going back and forth with a lot of issues. He does have a hernia that's in the inside that we found out like a year or so ago when he first started like throwing up consistently. And his GI doctor suggested we could get the hernia removed, but of course that requires surgery. And every time my son has been through surgery, it's been like major issues with it, major complications in recovery and coming out. So I really didn't want to go that direction. And then it has started to get better. But now he still throws up, but it's so much of an issue with him eating. And then constipation is another issue or symptom that is said to be associated with Angelman syndrome as well. And so it's been a real hard struggle because when you mix GI issues and reflex mixed with constipation and him not eating and him being a picky eater and only eating some foods, it just has been a struggle. Along with that fact, I try to be as holistic as possible. So the constant medication for constipation and reflex and throwing up and trying to manage all of those with a child who's also sort of losing weight due to the issue can be pretty hard because different medicines react differently, especially with his seizure medication that he takes regularly. So it is a huge struggle, and I always feel the weight because I feel like whatever decision I make, he's the one that's ultimately affected. And it's not like I can sit down with him and say, hey, you know, this is the surgery that you need, this is what's going to happen, and this is what may happen, as you would be able to do a normal child that's 8 years old, and try your best to describe whatever's going on and whatever surgery or options that's needed to sort of prepare them for what's to come. That's just an advantage that I don't have. But I'm now leaning or being a bit more open to the option of a G-tube, which is what I went over with his neurologist the last visit. And I don't know, like I never wanted it to come to this, but it seems like that's where we're at now, because at first, like, his weight has been like this. It's not going up. It's slightly going down, but for the most part, it's like just steady, which is a concern for his doctor, because he is now starting to actually lose weight, as to where he's more skeletal now, and that bothers me. I know his teachers at school have seen it. I, of course, have seen it, and it's just bothering me as to, is he getting the right amount of nutrients and calories a day and just things like that to be able to sustain and properly grow. So I guess I'm leaning more toward going back in and talking to his neurologist and just how the G-tube work. The last time we discussed it, she let me know that if he is eating, it's a time where he is open to eating and he does get a meal in, then we wouldn't have to use the G-tube, which is one of my biggest concerns. Like, once they insert it, you know, is it something that he'll always have to do regardless to if it's a time where he actually is eating. And she said that wasn't the case. Like, we would just feed him through the G-tube if he's not eating for that day or that meal or whatever. I also had another concern with him being Angelman and picking with the G-tube and all of that, she said it would be covered pretty good. However, that's something that I don't know how that's going to work out. So that's one of my huge concerns with him being able to remove it, because he does sleep in a room by himself. While he does have a bed, his sleeping patterns are definitely not normal. He's up at all types of night. While he's enclosed and safe, he is up by himself, I guess you can say. Um, I have a monitor in a room, but it's just really hard to see. Um, it's extremely hard to see inside of the bed and just what he's doing. So that is a huge issue, and just wanted to make the right decision for him. So I guess you could say this is the start of this phase of trying to correct his issues, because while I don't want him constantly throwing up and losing weight, I want him to be healthy, but I also want to make the right decision, and that's something that's weighing on me. So comment down below if your child has experienced this before, whether they have Angelman syndrome or not. If your child has a G-tube and just your experience with it. I'm really open to hearing everybody's stories, suggestions, and different things like that. And comment and rate, subscribe. Don't forget to let me know any other topics that you all would like me to talk about and share. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.